His name was Mick, and I'll probably cry on this part, but he was so handsome. He was very, very smart. He was so athletic. He was just the kind of kid that everybody loved.
Very athletic, very outgoing. A lot of kids were drawn to him just because he was friendly and he was easy to be a friend to, and he was a good friend in return.
I can remember his senior year. We went to a high school where they had to play, there was a handful of athletes, and they had to play offense and defense. He never came off the field. I remember his coach ordered a special pair of pads for him because he already was showing some signs of injuries in his shoulders. His freshman year of college, he did start his surgeries. We knew he had to have some. And he went in and he did his right shoulder first.
He had an extensive injury to labrum on one side and rotator cuff on the other. And to have those types of surgeries, you've got to have pain medication to manage at least the beginning recovery stages of that. I tried to do a good job about monitoring his medication early on. You know, when he went off to school is sort of when, you know, I guess the dialogue sort of ceased on that. But at that point, I sort of thought he was out of the woods from a standpoint of I didn't know that he was using that medication for quite some time, really until he came and asked for help.
I remember when he came home and we immediately started the detox process. And looking at it is hell.
He cold turkeyed at home for 5 days, me and her around the clock.
Wow.
Watching him go through the withdrawals from cold turkey from heroin, and it's just it's awful.
He was very successful, and it's funny, I enjoyed watching him as much as I did in football. Like when he would score the touchdowns and all, it was so much fun, but watching him recover was just as fun. He did so good. Number one, he came home and he confessed. I mean, that's huge.
The long and short of it is a lot of people, parents, think that, oh, you know, we got you a place to go for 30 days or 90 days and you're cured. Yeah. It doesn't work that way. He did a 90-day recovery. He got out, he came home. Probably within 3-4 weeks he relapsed. When he relapsed, he always felt terrible about it, and he never relapsed for long. It was like he just falls off the wagon for a couple of weeks. He came back, he said, "Dad, I've relapsed." And I said, "All right."
Tears, like,
yeah.
So shamed.
He was so overwrought by the fact that he relapsed. If we view this as a disease, whether it's diabetes or whatever, people relapse. People do a cancer. People have relapses.
But I'm speaking probably just from the opioids because that's what we know about. Most of those kids are just like Mick, you know, because they are on a path of career, you know, choices, college, and you can just function so well on opioids. It's different than the meth and the drinking.
You know, again, it does not discriminate, and the stories are so common. Nobody wakes up one day and says, "Hey, I think I want to be an addict and screw up my life." It doesn't work that way.
It was Wednesday night, and I was on my way to church, and I was almost passing his little route, his little driveway area, and one of his good workout buddies called me, and he just said, "Mick's gone, Tane." It was unexpected, it was painful, it was a disbelief.
Well, I still feel him every day, and he's gone. the worst absolute thing in the world is losing a child. So many people are going through that right now. So, and we're not the only ones.
I never entertained the thought that these could get them highly addicted. And I don't blame the doctor, don't get me wrong on that. But if somebody would have looked me in the eye and said, you know, if you have family addiction, this, just in a week's time, could get your child addicted, I promise you I would have looked them in the eyes and said, okay, tell me some other options we can do. There's purpose in the pain, and it's just, people do need to speak out. We just chose to be honest about it, and even now that he's dead, it's helping others. It's helping others. I mean, this is going to continue until every doctor has the same mentality of looking at this as a disease that needs to be carried out in treatment.
You know, how do you proceed after losing a loved one? Even though I feel like, you know, part of my soul is gone, and it'll never be the same again, I know in honoring my son that I have to go on. I can't quit. If anything we can do can spare them what we've had to go through, then it's worth it.